I can't even believe it. Because he makes some great butt. And I've been dabbling in this ice ball thing. You know, you can put mint and lime in these ice balls and then make a mojito with it.
I'm really curious
so
after
fun.
last week, and I know we're totally off subject,
I know.
but how long did it take for the ice balls to melt?
Like hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was great. I thought I poured in 2 cups of water and it just kept flavoring
going,
my
huh?
water. So I'm making some ice balls for the picnic. You guys can all explore the adventure of these ice balls.
All right, sounds good.
But welcome Consuela to the show.
Welcome, Consuela.
Consuela is a speaker, a focus strengths coach, founder of the CEO Way and Impact Makers Playground. She's the author of H.E.R. story, her story. The goals, the day she stopped, and Voices of Women. For more than 12 years, she has worked with leaders, corporate teams, and business owners to ignite powerful leaders, generating unexpected results.
As a global strength leader, Consuela specializes in unleashing and maximizing human potential based on greatness and unique potential in each person. Today, she works with entrepreneurs to defeat shiny object syndrome by increasing focus through the Get It Into Gear program. Shiny objects, where is your crown today?
Yes. I did not bring my crown. I should have brought my crown. I didn't bring any squirrels with me either. But
Well,
What about
welcome
some
to the show,
chickens?
even without your crown.
You could have brought some chickens.
I couldn't catch them. My chickens, you guys. This morning I got to get ready and come to this amazing show. My chickens decided today would be a good day to break free, and so I was running around the yard chasing my chickens this morning instead.
Oh, you are free range as far as it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, glad you can make it to the show and you're not out chasing. I hope your chickens will still be there when you get back.
Hopefully they will. We do have an eagle in the area now,
Oh,
so
no.
hopefully they will be there.
Well,
Hopefully they band together.
So how did you make this decision to come to the show and not to get your chickens? Because the question is, how do you make decisions?
Well, obviously, I want to be on this show. I love my chickens, but I know they know how to take care of themselves, so I'm like, I'm going for the show.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what the confidence that people need to finally make decisions.
So confidence, you know, we've been throwing the word around quite a bit today, right? Confidence. And you do need confidence in yourself to make decisions. So I talk about shiny object syndrome, and entrepreneurs are just bombarded with like all the things we could do, that we should do, and how do we know which ones? How do we know what decision to make? I should do this thing, I should do that thing. And when you have the confidence in yourself, your abilities, your strengths, and what you know you want to achieve, the goals that you've set for yourself, it makes it easy to say yes to this and no to that. Because when you're lacking that confidence, you're going to say yes to all these things, and then you're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to get burnout, and you're going to pull back, and there goes your forward momentum.
Been there.
Yeah. If I can't imagine there's any entrepreneur that at some point hasn't experienced shiny object syndrome, right? This is part of the journey. And so the more you develop your confidence as an entrepreneur, the easier it is to deal with those things. You know, I read a statistic that 9 out of 10 small business owners say they've suffered from shiny object syndrome. And for me, I'm like, really? 9 out of 10? I think that 10th is lying. I think he's lying.
I agree.
Right? Like,
I
because
agree.
it's
10 out of
kind
10?
of a thing that every person has. So that one person, like, I feel like they're
I
given
mean,
to
you
us.
had to have the best damn business plan set in place, and you're like, nope, I'm not deviating from any of that. Nope, nope, nope. I mean, you have to be one strong person to say you've never done it. And while you were writing that business plan, you didn't see the shiny object? You didn't see
Do
it?
this maybe, a
Yeah.
little this, a little this.
I
Yeah.
think you're right.
I mean, especially for entrepreneurs, it's something about the way our minds work as an entrepreneur, right? We have all these ideas just constantly going boom, 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 like we're idea generating machines. And then, you know, face it, y'all, we have a touch of impulsiveness and we're willing to take risks. If you know, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to take risks. And so because those things are combined, it's really easy for us to say, oh, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do this, add this thing in, and then we can, and it makes us amazing, but also can get us into trouble if we don't control it. I know you guys brought up, you know, that I had worked in corporate for a little while, and a lot of the folks that I talk to had that going on, right? And it was very structured. And now they're entrepreneurs and they're in charge of themselves and they want to reject all that structure. No, I don't want any structure. I don't want to set these goals. I don't want to, I'm going to do all the things. And you start out really pumped up and you have all this energy and you do all these things. And then your energy goes down, but you still have all these things going.
Yeah.
That's a danger zone.
Absolutely. So you brought up squirrels very briefly. Our audience might not know what the squirrel thing is. So how do you figure out what kind of squirrel you are? And then after we talk about that, what are the 4 key techniques to managing that shiny object syndrome, the chasing that we talked about?
Yeah, so
The squirrel is the thing that chases the shiny objects?
Quick story.
Okay.
Although I'm known to make a short story long, I will try to keep it quick.
We got plenty of time.
So, I live out in the boonies, right, with my chickens, and we've lived there for like 17 years. And one day I'm standing there, I'm drinking, my one latte, I allow myself a day, right? And a squirrel runs across our patio. I'm like, no way, because you guys, we were in the middle of a sod field. And so the nearest forest is like 20 squirrel minutes away. So for him to make it here, how did he get, it's not very safe. We've got foxes and weasels and hawks and stuff. So here's this squirrel and I'm watching this squirrel and we have 2 little trees. So not a lot of protection, but they did drop some nuts on the patio. So of course he's running in for these nuts, right? And then I see him next couple days. I see him and he's hanging out, and I see him come running back from the neighbor to the north yard. And he's got his mouth full of these nuts. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this crazy squirrel. He's coming in, and I see him start burying them in the yard. I'm like, oh my gosh. So a week or so after that, I see this squirrel, and he is laying on our patio, just completely pooped, right? He's just laying there all stretched out and he's exhausted, and I'm like, look at what you did, you crazy squirrel, right? But then I see him and his ears start picking up and he's looking over towards where the forest is, and you can see he has a panic attack. He's like, ah, and he's like, where are my nuts, where are my nuts? And he starts running around the yard. It's like, where are my nuts? And he's finding his nuts, right? And I'm standing there and I'm like, oh my gosh. We're not chasing squirrels, we are the squirrels, right? That's everything entrepreneurs can end up doing. Oh no, I got to go across the thing because those nuts are better than my nuts. And we have so many nuts that we've buried that we don't even know where they are, and we're constantly running. And even though we're exhausted and we're worn out, we get some FOMO because somebody else just published a book or did something, and bam, we got to go get back in it again, even though we don't even know what we're doing and we're running around. And that's us, so we're squirrels.
I feel like such a squirrel right now.
Right. No. Well, I thought where the squirrel moment was going to go was the Disney movie where squirrel. That's where I thought it was going.
And so many people, right? The dog, he's like squirrel. It's become synonymous with I'm distracted.
Yes.
Right? That is the thing. And so we think we're chasing squirrels, but we are the squirrels. We are so distracted. And now I'm a strengths coach as well. And so I have this quiz that's based loosely on strengths, but more specifically on what kind of distractions are most likely going to tempt you and help you figure out what those are so you can face them head on. Because that's what we need to do if we're going to get past that, if we're going to make a difference and not be stuck in that cycle of chasing the shiny things.
Sounds like work.
A lot of work.
Work? What sounds like work?
Stopping yourself from doing all the shiny things.
Work is work.
It is work, right?
But it's more work if you're buried and
Training.
you can't get out of it.
Training and habit building too, maybe.
Well, so you guys were talking about time earlier, right? And so a lot of people are like, oh, you deal with time management. I'm like, ew, I don't know if I should be in charge of that because I have shiny object syndrome. But the thing we know, what you guys were saying, you can't manage time, y'all. That's a myth. You cannot manage time. Time is time. There's the same amount of time for you and everyone else. We have the same amount of time as, any other person that's achieved amazing things. So while we're trying to manage time, we need to manage is our distractions. They get in our way. When you talk about it's a lot of work, what if you were able to work less towards that 4-hour work week and accomplish more? That's what we all want.
Absolutely.
And so, and if you really bring up your focus, because that's what we need, And, focus is not high for me in the strengths. I've got it at like 33 out of 34. So it's not a thing. So how do I figure out how, with the strengths I do have, I'm going to bring that focus? So there are ways to do that. And so setting that goal is so important, y'all, to being able to focus and make those decisions on what to do and not to do. But managing the distractions, so knowing, let's say, so knowing you're gonna want to get training after training, right? That's something that someone will do. Or knowing that you're gonna buy all the domain names, or that you wanna get certified, or you're like, I'm gonna go to all these networking events, but you're not gonna do the follow-up, right? Knowing which thing is most likely gonna tempt you can help you figure out what things to watch for that can get you into trouble, right?
Yeah.
So that's managing distractions. Now, about work though, if you know what you want to achieve and you decide these are the actions I need to take to achieve that, if you do nothing else but those actions, you can achieve it. And so all that other stuff kind of falls away. Think about if you ever worked and you're getting to like, they're starting to run the Thanksgiving commercials, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, it's almost the end of the year, and I said I was gonna do this thing, and I didn't do it, and you're like, oh my God, I gotta do this thing. And you're like, okay, I need to focus. And you focus, and you achieve your goal by the end of the year. That happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That happens.
Yeah.
Right? Or think about, somebody was talking about going on vacation, right? And so I'm going on vacation, so I'm only gonna work a half day on Friday. So I got all these things to get done, and amazingly, I can get the same work done in that half day that I would have taken a whole day if I didn't have vacation. Yeah?
Yes, so
Yes?
true.
Yes, that happens. So if we can have that focus at the end of the year, or when we know we're going to get to go do this vacation, how can we bring that focus into every day, every week, every month? And that is what we work on. And getting the confidence to know, I'm going to do this, I'm not doing that. Because this is what my goal is. This is the amazing thing I'm going to achieve. And then all those other things don't matter, because you're going to focus on those. And that limits the work you have to do, giving you more time to connect with people that you haven't connected with, more time to develop those relationships, but be able to take a vacation once every 12 weeks, right?
It seems like it would almost naturally, if you really drive down your focus, the distractions will naturally just kind of fall off to the wayside a little bit, right? Like
They should,
Right.
They could, but honestly, they're gonna come.
Of course,
They're gonna
of
pop
course.
up. You don't stop wanting to learn. You don't stop wanting to do whatever that thing is that distracts you. But you have to see it and be like, no, not right now.
Yeah.
I know Mitch had brought up the impact board, one of my babies, right? One of my little things that I created, but really that is, and to talk about the 4 keys, right? So I say get into gear, goals, evaluate every idea, accountability, and rewards. And that E, evaluate every idea, because those distractions are gonna keep popping up.
Yep.
And this impact board, I know y'all have heard of a vision board, right? But this is like that next step. This is, okay, I got this vision, I know what I want. How am I gonna take action? How am I gonna make that impact that I want? And on this impact board, we decide everything that comes in front of us, like we're gonna do this thing or that thing, is it gonna help me with my goal right now? If yes, it's an action. If it's something amazing and it's something you really wanna do, but it's not gonna help you right now, that's a distraction. And we're not gonna consider that until the next cycle for us.
Yeah,
We're
you
not
have to,
gonna look at it.
Analyze all of your desires and wants and get into a habit of that, because many people just aren't even paying attention.
Well, and we have like a really quick process, because that can be the thing. He was talking about like, well, I'm gonna think about this for 2 months. Well, 2 months, that's a long time to be thinking about something, right?
happens in 2 months.
So if you get to the point where you can like, okay, I think I'm gonna do this thing, you're like, wait a second. You just stop and pause. Be like, let me ask these 5 quick questions. No, that's too big. That's gonna cost too much. That's gonna be too many resources. That's a distraction. I can look at that in the next 12-week cycle. I'm not doing it right now. And then you do get in the cycle, and it saves you guys so much money, time, energy. If you're like, wait, no, not for now. And then you evaluate it. Does it still seem amazing in a week or a month or the next 12 weeks,
That's what I
right?
do when I'm looking at shoes in the store. So how do you handle accountability different than the traditional way?
So accountability. So it's kind of a buzzword. It's also a word that people are like, ew, right? Like, I don't want.
Yeah, there's accountability
Everybody,
coaches and,
everybody has been in an accountability situation where it wasn't any fun, right? You go to the meeting and it becomes this massive excuse fest. We're like, well, I didn't get done what I was gonna do. Nobody wants to go to that.
And then you don't want to go back.
And then no one shows up, and then the one person's doing things like, where is everybody? Yeah, no, so accountability, it all goes back to the goals. We want to set our goals in a different way. And so we set those goals, not the SMART goals. They're not dumb goals either, but they're not SMART goals in that structured way. But we want to set those goals that they're so important to you that when you read them, you feel it like, oh, I want this. This is what I want. It's so important to you that you own that. We own our confidence. We own our goals. And so accountability is ownership. If you own that goal, if that's something that's so important to you that nothing else matters, that's accountability. And then commitment is the other piece of that, because if you own that goal and you say, I have to take actions 1, 2, and 3, when you commit to those actions, because if you do actions 1, 2, and 3, you will achieve your goal, that's accountability. And so there's no, I'm going to hold you accountable. You hold yourself accountable, because this is so important. A lot of times, we don't achieve our goals. Did you know there's something like 8% of people achieve the goals they set?
Wow.
8%. That's,
Wow.
I want to be a part of that elite 8. I don't know about you guys. I hope you do,
For
right?
sure.
Boy, I wish that was a higher number.
Right. So we want to improve that. So to be a part of that, again, you need to have that commitment and that accountability. But I'm not going to hold you accountable as much as you are going to hold yourself accountable, because you want it more than anything else that pops up at you.
Right. And all you can do is when you say, you didn't do the thing last week, how does that make you feel?
Yeah. Yeah. And
it's not putting it on anybody else then. It's just putting it back on yourself. It's not, you didn't have to do it for somebody else.
So when you say you didn't do that thing, that's the other piece of this. If you say, I commit to actions 1, 2, and 3, I'm going to do this every week, I'm doing this daily, I'm doing this action, right? When you get to the weekly review, we don't look at your results. We look at your actions. How many actions did you complete? If you said you had these 12 actions that were very important for you to achieve your goals, how many of those 12 actions did you take? 6 of them? 7 of them? 2 of them? That you can control. You can't control the results, but you can control the actions you take every day. And when you look at, we look at time we operate in a 12-week year. So I've been saying 12 weeks. We operate in a 12-week year. And so that means, if there are 12 months in a year, there are 12 weeks in a 12-week year, which means that each week is a month, which means that each day is a week. And so it gives you a sense of urgency for your time. Think about if you only have 12 weeks to get this thing done, that's like, it's almost the end of the year, I got to get this thing done. You have 12 weeks to get this thing done. You're going to focus on one thing, one main goal and focus. And you've got these 12 weeks to get it done. And you're going to take these actions, and each week is a month. Like right now, it's week 5, so it's May. Oh, it's actually May. But I'm in week 5 already. So I'm almost halfway through my 12-week year.
Yeah.
And it gives you this urgency that you got to do your actions every day. You have every day, and so all of a sudden, things that you would have drove you like, I'm gonna take this training. It's 3-day training. You're like, 3 days? That's half my week.
That's going to put me back
That's going to put me back. Is that really worth it for my week? Am I still going to get my actions that I need for this week done? And if it is important, and it can be, okay, that gives me the other days to get all the actions I know I need to get done this week done. So they still fit in.
I think the process behind this is really interesting, because we ran a mastermind with the Connect, and it was a lot about accountability and such. And people naturally started to fall off as they weren't completing their own goals that they set. We didn't set the goals for them. They were things they wanted to do, but if it were presented in a way as an action item more than, and some of the goals were simple and some people had them, I'm gonna clean my house, or some people really had it business related. It was all over the place. We weren't there to judge them, but we were there to say, how far did you come with what you were doing? And I think if the terminology might have been a little bit different, I mean, they're still gonna know they didn't come to that meeting because they didn't face their action or their goal or whatever. They made that choice not to come, but now they're facing embarrassment because now they just stopped coming. And they're not getting the quality out of having, even if they're accountability for themselves, they're still not completing the task at hand.
And so when we talk about actions, the other great thing about, did I do the action I said I was going to do? It takes the pressure off the results. If you have pressure about, I'm going to achieve this thing or not, it can make you a little closed in and not see all the opportunities and everything that's there. But if you're like, I said, I'm going to do this action, I did the action.
Right.
That's
and
it.
then that action is done, and you can put that away, and then you can focus on the next action. And then all of a sudden, it starts to feel a little bit easier and a little bit easier.
And we watch that trend, right? If this week you did 2 actions, and then the next week you did 4 actions, you feel accomplished because I'm doing more and more of the things, and there's no pressure about the results. We know the results will happen as long as we keep taking these actions. And we go through a process to figure out your goal, making it strong, your actions, what are the actions that are actually. But we think about, if you think about melting away pounds, because everybody's thought about like that at some point, right? So if you think about all the actions you could take that could help you melt away the weight that you want, you're not going to be able to do all of them, but you're going to look at that list and be like, okay, so turning the commercial when, turning from the commercial if it's a fast food commercial, that's something that you could do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if that's the only thing you did, would that help you lose the weight?
Right. No,
Probably not. So that's not going to make the cut for our actions. So
Right.
you really go through all the actions. Now, if you think about business ones, there are other things too, like all the things you could do to get your new business that you want. So you look at that list and be like, oh, that's important, but if I did only that, it wouldn't achieve the thing. What is the thing I do that if I do only that and nothing else, I will get the result? And that's your actions that you prescribe for you for each week.
Wow, that is a perfect way to finalize our time with you. Thank you so much for joining us. I am ready to take my change and just change the way I'm thinking about things. Do you have an offer or event or anything you'd like to tell our audience today?
So I do have an event. It is next week, May 11th at 10 a.m. Central, and this is a goal setting for the goal averse.
Oh,
Goal
I like
adverse,
it.
So you don't like
averse.
goals.
You don't like setting goals. Right now, you're telling me is like, ooh, goal setting. But this is a workshop for you to figure out a way to get past that and not have super structure, but have that powerful feeling from your goals.
Is this an in-person or a virtual event?
This is a virtual event.
Excellent. Hopefully we get some viewers to join that event with you. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a page on our website for Consuela, so you can connect with her and take that action. connectshow.com/Consuela Munoz. Thank you so much again
Thank
for
you
joining us.
guys
It was
for
a great
having me
time.
up here.
For coming on. It's great to see you. I don't know, did I ever meet you in person yet?
I don't know.
I think the last time I talked
Known
to you,
her
you were
forever.
like jumping off a building, or you were like going down the building.
I did jump down a building.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
We just got railroaded, y'all.
She did. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for coming
Thank
on.
you.
What's up next, John? What's up next?